featuring artists that you should know about on the show. And today we're heading to Texas to chat with singer-songwriter Robynn Shayne. Robynn lives in Austin. She's been releasing music for over a decade. She taught herself guitar. She's a flight attendant as her day job. She's sponsored by Lone Star Beer. So we're in love right there. Her latest single, Live, Laugh, Lone Star, is out now. We're excited to have Robynn Shayne on the show. First, Robynn, thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, and wow, you just got back from Dublin, which it was actually a work trip, so you were working, but how long were you there? What route are you on as a flight attendant?
Well, I've been there for quite a few years, but I'm still, so we merged operations. Used to, you were either domestic or international. We've merged that now, so you can do both. It's really about being senior enough to be able to get the international flights. So I don't get to do Dublin. That was actually my first time to work a trip there. We were there for about 30 hours. So you get there for early in the morning, and then you have the entire day, and then most of the morning the next day. So, you know, I always hit the ground running and make the most of my short time, you know, in the other cities that I don't get to go to very often.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. You at least get to experience the city or whatever for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was good. I had been to Dublin before a couple of times for shows, actually. And so we, another girl that I was flying with had never been. She's been flying for like 40 years and had never been to Dublin.
Oh, wow.
So we actually did the hop-on, hop-off bus, which I'd never done one of those before. So that was a nice way to, like, see the whole city and, you know, get the lay of the land. So that was nice, which I didn't have to walk and do all those things and got to see everything again.
yeah, that's pretty nice. And you mentioned it. You have a big following in Ireland. How did this happen?
You know, oddly enough, I mean, we were over there we do this Texas takeover thing every couple of years. They head over there and just do a bunch of different shows in right there in Dublin and in the surrounding areas outside of the city. And we did that, and I looked up while we were there, like the oldest bar and like open mic night. And so we popped in there one night and I didn't have a show, and I met these guys and they just welcomed me. And that was the first night that I played live at a venue that we didn't have scheduled. And oh my gosh, the response for country music was just incredible. I had no idea. They just love country music and really appreciate it over there, which was fantastic and a nice surprise to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now I've kept in touch with those guys. The place is called Darky Kelly's, and they do an open mic every Tuesday, and they've been doing it for a long time. And
okay, is that down in the bar district or down?
You know, it's not too far from like the Temple Bar area. Yeah. It is a little bit off the beaten path. You're going, and the name of the place is Darky Kelly's, and you're like, is this place, where am I going? It's a little scary because I took the crew there while we were there the other night, and they were like, where are you taking us? And then boom, here's this fantastic bar. So if you get over there, definitely check out Darky Kelly's.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to Dublin 2 summers ago. And it's amazing. And you mentioned it. It's so funny seeing all the performers because when you walk through everything, and we went to bars for a couple of nights, you hear like Country Roads, you hear like American Pie, you hear all these classic songs that they love, and you hear them like every 2 hours or something over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty
so
funny
that you said Country Roads, because I actually got a video of the guy singing that at Temple Bar. That's funny you mentioned that one specifically.
Yeah. I think I heard it 8 times in like the 4 days we were over there. It was
it's
pretty
like
funny.
Same. Yeah, exactly. They're a lot of fun, man. They like to party it up over there, no doubt.
Oh, it's a blast. It's amazing. But you played the Annapolis Songwriters Festival last month. This looks pretty amazing. There was like 1 million artists there.
So it's a sister event to the Key West Songwriter Festival that they do every May, and they've been doing, I think, for 15 years now. So this was year 2 of the Annapolis Songwriter Festival, my first year to be on the lineup at all. And, I mean, Leanne Rimes was one of the headliners. Blondie was a headliner. Michelle Branch, Jeffrey Seal, and Thomas Dolby actually was there, too. I don't know if you're familiar, but the old synth stuff, like, from the, 80s. Anyway, so I was there with, it was absolutely incredible. The listening that people did, the appreciation. I've never played such an incredible event where I finish, my 5 or 6 songs and just come down and people are like, man, that song really spoke to me. And that is truly what I love about, the songwriter festivals. And they just, they were just incredible out there. It was fabulous.
Yeah, well, and it's crazy because I'm listening to your music last night. You do a cover of One Way or Another, and then you saw Blondie at the festival.
I know. We trust me. We tried to. I'm like, hey, if you need some help up there singing, girl, I got you. But yeah, they had her locked down pretty tight, so we didn't get to meet her. But yeah, no, that was incredible. Whenever I went to go do that album, I thought, I want to put a non-country song on there that I really like that people would never expect me to sing. And that was the one we decided on. And I really didn't know if I could sing it or not, to be honest with you. I was talking to my producer. I'm like, well, maybe like a Blondie song. And he said, well, what about this one? I said, I don't know if I can sing that because it's got, some higher parts and lower parts. And I pulled it off. I was pretty proud of myself. I was I didn't even know I could do that. So
you did a great job on it. Go check her out. Go and listen to everything. Robynn Shayne. It's ROBYNNSHAYNE.com. She's on Facebook, TikTok. Her latest single, Live, Laugh, Lone Star, is out now. She's got 4 albums. She's got all kinds of music. Go and check her out on Spotify, Amazon Music. She's everywhere. Well, being a flight attendant, I've flown a lot in the last couple months. How are people getting? Are people completely rude? I mean, what's happening? How have you seen it in the last year or two?
There was a moment where I think people, it was a little awkward after COVID, like people getting back, especially wearing the mask. That was really difficult. People were pretty cranky about it. And I will say, this is what I always tell people. I like to work at the front of the aircraft. I want to be the first face that you see. You never know why people are traveling. Are they going to a funeral, or are they going to a wedding? I always like to greet people when they walk on, because I think that sets the tone for the whole flight. I don't know about you, but when I walk on, the flight attendants don't greet me or say hello. It's just kind of like, oh, well, that's no fun. So I always like to make a point, hey, welcome, just a small talk. Where are you guys headed? Are you going on vacation? Or, just something to set the tone to let them know that I appreciate that they've spent their hard-earned money walking on the airplane. And I want to make them feel welcome and have a good time. And it's just something so small that I make a point to do, to greet people when they walk on. It literally sets the tone for the whole flight. And people are either happy or they're cranky. And I like them to be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are, it's really not as bad as people say. But maybe it's, I work out of Austin a lot. We have a satellite base here, and I get to work with some of the most amazing people that are they just make travel easier and fun, and that makes a big difference, because travel is not easy and it's not fun. It's stressful.
No.
And, people handle it a lot differently. So, but it really isn't as bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just
well, that's good. Yeah, and your hub probably helps, because people like going in and out of Austin. So that probably helps.
It is. Yeah, exactly. It's gotten pretty crazy down here. So busy, so packed. They bit off a little more than they could chew down here, because it's so busy now, and it's still so small. But they're working on it. They're working on getting it expanded.
If you go to her TikTok, you were just in New York not too long ago. You ate at Peter Luger's.
Yes.
How was it?
That was my first time there. You know what? It was fantastic. It was a completely different experience than what I expected, but the staff was just amazing. I'm from Texas, so we have some good steak down here. But it was delicious, and the staff was fantastic. The drinks were great. It was just a really, really nice experience. I do recommend, if you make it to New York, definitely check it out.
Yeah, Peter Luger's and the staff, they've been there forever. They know everything.
Oh my God.
It's
they
crazy.
Do. It was wonderful. Have you been yourself?
Yeah, I've been to Peter Luger's, and I think we ate like half a cow, because it was like me and my brother-in-law. And there was a bunch of us, and it was just insane.
We did not leave hungry. That is for sure.
No, yeah, you'll definitely be full. You'll be unbuttoning your pants when you leave there. When I was listening, yeah, when I was listening to your stuff last night, "Devil You Know" kept coming up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great song. Is this about an ex? What's this song about?
It is about an ex. I really wrote that song about the darkest time in my life. And oddly enough, whenever we released it to radio, I got so many messages, like Facebook, instant message, the messenger, from people saying how much that song. But what really surprised me most was that most of the response was from men, and that really shocked me. Like, I never looked at it from a male perspective. But yeah, it really was about the darkest time in my life, and you're in that situation, and it's really hard to get out. And am I brave enough to do it? Is the grass greener on the other side? And I did. I picked myself up, dusted myself off, got the heck out of there, and I'm so glad I did. And so if anybody goes to listen to that song and is in that situation, 100% encourage you to do the same thing, because it is better out on the other side.
Yeah, go check it out. Devil You Know. It's Robynn Shayne. Go check her out, robynshayne.com. She's on Facebook, TikTok. Her latest single, Live, Laugh, Lone Star, is out now. You have 4 albums. Your last one, Let's Get This Show on the Road, came out in 2020. You've been doing singles since. You won an award like around then. COVID hits. How frustrating was it? You have all this momentum going, and then everything gets shut down.
It was definitely rough. Yeah, we released it right before COVID, and so we really, didn't get to give it a proper, release party.
Yeah.
We did after COVID was sort of over, but then it's like, oh, well, 3 years just went by. So, so it was a little bit of a disappointment. So we have just continued to release those songs, as singles, just to make sure, they all get heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely frustrating. We were, we were riding high, and then COVID. So we definitely felt like we kind of had to start over, in the music business. It's a roller coaster ride anyway.
Yeah.
But that certainly, was pretty tough for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not good. At least you were in Texas, so you had a little bit, like in Wyoming here, we didn't shut down too much, but still, you had to put your career on hold. Save country music. You keep wearing this T-shirt, Robynn. What was this, like rock and roll is dead? Is this what are we saving? What's going on here?
Oh, well, so it's actually it's a T-shirt that I got from a group here in Texas, and that's their thing, is they really are just trying to keep country music alive. I think a lot of people, and I listen to everything actually, from Guns N' Roses and to Metallica to Blondie to oldies, everything.
Yeah.
But I grew up listening to, old school country music. And obviously I think my music, I have a little bit of everything, but try to kind of keep that, old school country flair going. And I don't know, I guess it's kind of a lost art in some, areas these days. We got what people call bro country, which I don't hate. I listen to everything, like I said, but I don't know, I just like the T-shirt because I guess, I grew up listening to old school stuff, and so I'm like, well, my music is country. I'm going to wear this shirt and make sure people don't forget about us.
Exactly. She's saving country music. It seems like, the indie artists are kind of going more traditional country, or it's definitely still there, coming back.
I think the nice thing is that, kind of anything goes, and that's, I've been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and write with people that don't necessarily really know anything about country music, just so I can kind of get a little bit of other stuff, a little other influence on my music as well, and then also influence them. So, that's the great thing about the indie thing. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, well, in country music right now, it's so wide open of a genre. It's
Absolutely.
crazy. Some songs I play, I'm like, that's a country song? Really?
I know, right? I know.
And then there's this rap country. It's insane. I played it earlier, last hour. 2 words, 1 finger. This isn't, when you thought of this had to just, you put a smile on your face, because it's a great saying, but when you think 2 words, 1 finger, I kept telling people, what comes to mind the first thing when you say that? But, you think the middle finger probably, but this is like a love song. How did this happen? Where did this come from? What? Tell us the story.
Well, really, so I did have a co-writer on this song, and I brought this idea to the table. I said, well, whenever I get, when I get mad at somebody, I'm just like, oh, I got 2 words and 1 finger for you. That was really like my thought process on it. So I come to this guy, his name's Jordan Daughtry, and he said, you know what, well, what if it, so I have to give him credit for that. He was like, well, we could make this a love song too. And I was like, oh, I guess, you know what? That's a great idea. So that's the blessing of having co-writers, because it probably would have just been this angry hate song if I'd have written it by myself. So it was a nice surprise to me for it to all come together. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun writing that one, and a nice little surprise at the end, of it. But it's made for a great T-shirt. People, we put that 2 words, 1 finger on a T-shirt, and we sell out of those over and over again.
Yeah, it's a great saying. I was like, man, that's gold. 2 words, 1 finger. Lots of whiskey references. Coffee days, whiskey nights, Rowdy with Jack, Out on the Town. The latest single makes a reference. So tell us, Robyn, what's your favorite whiskey? Give us a recommendation.
Well, I am an Irish whiskey girl, which is I went to the Jameson distillery while I was there in Dublin. Jameson is definitely my number one. I love Tullamore Dew. That's another one. But I also, as far as what's the Buffalo Trace is another one. It's not an Irish whiskey, but it's more of it's just a whiskey bourbon.
Yeah.
That's another favorite that I have. But yeah, Jameson's my go-to. That's my. Everyone knows that's what, if you're going to buy me a shot, that's what I want.
Wow. That's crazy. Buffalo Trace. You and somebody else have said that like in the last couple of weeks. I enjoy some Buffalo Trace. I like that.
Yeah. It's not too sweet. So if I'm not feeling, because the Jameson is a little on the sweeter side, I'll go for the Buffalo Trace just to, change it up a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my favorites. Well, that's a song idea, Whiskey and Bad Decisions. A flight attendant friend of mine, she called me up. She said, Robyn, you need to write a song called Jameson and Bad Decisions. And so that's where that song, I don't know why she would think I would need to write a song called about bad decisions. But anyway, so that's actually how that song came about.
Oh, that's hilarious. Live, Laugh, and Lone Star. I was in Austin last month for the Wyoming-Texas football game. We drank a bunch of Lone Star. I like it, but how the heck did you get a sponsorship from a beer?
So when I first moved to Austin, I had quit playing music for a little bit, took a little hiatus. Well, then we went to this place called Jimmy's Little Longhorn Saloon, and I told my husband, I said, man, I really want to play this bar. What a cool little place. So gave my CD to the owner of the bar, which at the time, I did not know she was Dale Watson's sister, and Dale Watson is sponsored by Lone Star. He's huge in Texas. You guys may not know who he is there. Had no idea that was his sister. She called me up. She said, Robyn, we'd love to have you play here. So I played a happy hour show a week later. And when I was about to take my break, she came up to me and she said, Robyn, there's a guy at the end of the bar. You're going to want to talk to him. So I go over and chat with him. He goes, I work for Lone Star Beer. We have been looking for a female artist that can just sing and just, has great music, and we would love to sponsor you. I mean, that was my first show in Austin, and I got a sponsorship from them. So, boy, that was a nice little boost to my confidence whenever, I moved to Austin, and it's the music capital, here, and so I was pretty intimidated to be playing in this town anyway. So that certainly was a nice little boost for sure.
Yeah, I love your jean jacket. You got the big Lone Star logo on the back.
Thank you. I've been collecting. I got me a new patch from Ireland this week, actually, too, and collecting new patches from a jacket. I'm going to have to get a new jacket because I'm running out of space on it.
Yeah, I just got to get a bigger jacket so you can fit all the patches. The Saxon Pub, you're performing there November 11th. I never saw this place in Austin, and I looked it up. I was like, man, this place is awesome. They have 3 shows a day.
They do. It has been there for about 32-ish years now. So that was Lone Star helped me get into that venue because they don't just let anybody play there.
No.
And they got me a nice little interview with the owner and got me set up there. We've been playing there for about 8 or 9 years now, and it's a wonderful venue. Listening room, people go in there. In between shows, it's a party house, but when the music is playing, I mean, people just listen. It's sort of like the Bluebird, and actually they've done a lot of sister stuff with the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, and they were about to tear it down because it's in a prime location. And Gary Keller, I think he owned the property, and he found out that, hey, it's this iconic venue, and he actually grandfathered the Saxon Pub in that location to where it will always be a music venue and won't be torn down. It's a historic place here. So they had already had plans to move it, to South Austin. So he saved the Saxon. So we're very happy about that here in town because everybody who's, Willie Nelson played that stage. Everybody's played it. Everyone who's anyone. So
yeah, it looks awesome. Next time I get to Austin, I'm definitely going to Saxon Pub. That's for sure. Well, let's hear the latest single, Live, Laugh, Lone Star. It's Robynn Shayne. I could keep talking to you for another half hour, Robyn, but
same.
We appreciate you coming on. Robynn Shayne, go check her out, robynshayne.com. She's on Facebook, TikTok, and here is her latest single, Live, Laugh, Lone Star. Robyn, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me. Holler when you come to Austin.
Here it is. It's KIX 96.5.